This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com, and I didn't end up doing a watch log of the NXT Stand and Deliver pay-per-view this afternoon because I was burnt out from the SmackDown and Hall of Fame watch-alongs last night. I am going to do a WrestleMania watch-along tonight at 8 p.m. for night one, but I did watch Ava Reigns' match from earlier today, which ended up not even being on the pay-per-view. It was a pre-show match. And of course, for anyone that doesn't know, they like to give the sons and daughters different names in WWE, I guess, so they own the names. So Ava Rain is The Rock's daughter, and it was her debut match. It was her in-ring debut. However, it wasn't a singles match. It was Chase U against the Schism. So it was 4-on-4 mixed tag where the girls could only wrestle each other. She only had 2 times really legally in the ring. The first time was just a tease to make the fans think like she was going to wrestle. The second time she actually did some wrestling. It was obvious she was green. I mean, it is the pre-show and it is the AAA league. So yes, obviously she still has some work to do, but it wasn't bad. The main thing I would say is her hair was in her face a lot of the time, so the camera couldn't see her facial expressions. And as far as the match altogether, it was a weird match because to me both teams were heelish teams. Like this Chase U, the girl on that team, was just so annoying and like such a typical heel. She's like a cheerleader, but really loud and obnoxious. And like to me, she's more of a heel than the Rock's daughter Ava, because Ava at least is cooler. So I didn't quite understand how the obnoxious cheerleader girl was more of the face. And at one point during the match, all 4 members of each team were in the ring, and the Schism team, it looked like it wasn't a bad spot in one way because it looked like they recruited one of the Chase U people, and then once he switched shirts, got behind it, then he ripped off the shirt to show that it was just a trick. But the weird part about that spot was the referee. It wasn't a no DQ match, and the referee was like making no effort to get the illegal members of the team out of the ring. And at one point, I even thought, is the match over at this point? Because in the theory of wrestling, you're only supposed to have 5 seconds in the ring, or it's a disqualification, or you'd rule it a draw because it's out of hand. So I did, although they got the pop for the spot, I found it a little weird that when all that was going on, the referee made no effort to take either team out of the ring, even though there was only 2 of them that were legal in there. Yet there was 8 people in the ring, and the referee's just standing there watching, doing nothing. So that was a little weird, but again, she's got a lot of potential. She looks very much like her mother and father. Yeah, I wish her nothing but the best. I'm a huge fan of The Rock, so I'm biased on that review. And again, tonight at 8 p.m., it's we're going to see Logan Paul against Seth Rollins, John Cena against Austin Theory, and the Rey Mysterio against Dominic Mysterio match, as well as the Usos against Kevin Owens and Charlotte Flair against Diarrhea Ripley. So that's at 8 o'clock. I thought it was 7, but apparently it's just the pre-show at 7. So John says NXT used to be entertaining, now it's bottom of the barrel. And oh yeah, by the way, Braun Breaker lost the NXT title, which pretty much solidifies the rumor that he's debuting on the main roster after WrestleMania. And that'll be a big loss to NXT because he there's really only two things that gives NXT a buzz. It's Braun Breaker and The Rock's daughter, but The Rock's daughter, again, she's still really green and not really wrestling much. Braun Breaker actually is really talented. And when I watched a full episode of the show about a month or so ago, his match was the only thing I actually liked about the show. So that'll be a big loss to them. And they have free tickets for their tapings, and they've been having problems getting people to those tapings. So, but they had a good crowd for NXT for this. There looked to be like about six or 7,000, which was about what Meltzer had reported, which is great for an NXT show.